This is like a free tip to everyone that thinks that the Asian session is not that great. Pull up like a 4-hour chart or probably an hour chart and look at the biggest moves that happen over any year. And I guarantee that most of them will start in Asia. It's the same across all pairs.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another TFT interview. Today we have Nat, who comes all the way from Australia and has 10 years of trading experience. Welcome, Nat.
Thanks very much for having me.
So let's start with introducing yourself, and can you please tell us what got you into trading?
Okay, my name is Ned Murray. I'm a trader from Australia. I started trading originally in stocks in around 2012. I got into trading because I thought about the lifestyle that trading can bring. It's taken me a long time and a lot of experience to get where I am today, but I'm glad that I've made the journey and trading's been really great to me.
That's amazing. And can you tell us a little bit about your trading journey, like how you started, if you have been part of any communities, if you have any mentors?
So I started originally by myself and I joined a trading program called Infinite Prosperity. That was the first taste of trading I had, first taste of a community I had, which was a Forex community. Then from there, I've been through several communities over my long journey. So I've been a part of Falcon Trading Guidance. I've been a part of Phantom Trading. I've been a part of Guerrilla Trading with Josh Bunker. Okay. I've watched ICT content on the internet. I've pretty much been through most of what the big content producers have made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of trader are you?
I would describe myself, I guess, as a price action trader. I trade my own style that I've developed over the years. I guess taking little bits and pieces from all the past mentors I've had. I have learned something from all of them. Even if I didn't ultimately end up trading that way, I still learned something from all those people. So I trade, I guess, like impulse and corrections. I call them range retracements. So retracements into the range where an impulse or correction came from. Yeah.
And are you an intraday trader, a scalper, a swing trader?
Yeah, I'd describe it as like an intraday trader. So intraday, maybe intraday. Most of my trades are done, say, in 2 to 24 hours. I rarely hold a trade longer than a day.
And do you have any favorite session when you trade?
Yeah, I really like the Asian session. Big fan of the Asian session. Yeah.
Because most of the people are into London and New York.
Yeah, well, I guess like the way I look at it is like if everyone's into London and New York, that's quite a crowded session. So you're fighting all the other traders in the world for the returns. Whereas if you trade the Asian session, you're not fighting as many traders for those returns. Yeah. I do trade London as well. I don't trade New York at all.
Okay.
But I will hold trades during New York.
Well, Asia is quite much more like calm than New York. London is something in between, from my experience.
Yeah.
And how did you find TFT, and how is your experience with us?
So I've been through a few prop firms, and I saw TFT pop up on a YouTube interview, I think, and I just did a bit of research and then saw that you guys are paying clients out. So I decided to take a challenge with you last year. I can't remember exactly when last year, towards the end of the year, and passed the challenge, and now I'm funded with you guys. And so far the experience has been quite good, yeah. That's
amazing. And would you like to share something about your strategy and show us one of your recent trades?
Yeah, I can do that for everyone. So yeah, my trading is based on ranges and returns to value within the range after the impulse. So I've just kind of drawn this up, just pretend that this is how the market moves. So the market moves in, I guess, impulsive moves and then the correction moves. So this is this part here. And the market likes to return to these areas of the range, say like there. But then further to that, if you're in let's say a long trend, so we've broken this high here, we've broken it with that move there, the best place to get into the trade is all the way at the bottom. So some people call it like buying at a discount and selling at a premium. I've heard it discussed as that, but pretty much all you're trying to do is, if you want to ride the long trend, you just try and get into the trade at the best price for the long trend. And the best price for that would be at the origin of where the trend started.
Yeah.
So that's a view of it overall. Then coming up here, there's 2 trades that I took recently. This is on Aussie US dollar. So I pretty much exclusively trade Euro Japanese yen and the Australian dollar. They're just 2 pairs that I gel with really nicely. So looking at this trade here, you can see we have an impulsive move down and then the corrective move back up. And you can see that the market has come from this range here. So it returns the range. And where am I getting in? I'm getting in at the best price I can. Mm-hmm. Then you can see the same thing here. We're continuing in a downtrend and we return and get a good value entry there and continue down. And that's the ethos of how I trade. I like to base on session times as well. So I'll trade pairs that correspond with that session. So I like trading Euro Japanese yen in the Asian session because it's an Asian denominated pair.
Yeah.
I guess a yen denominated pair. And then Aussie US dollar trades well in the Asian session as well because the Aussie is the base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you do top-down analysis?
No, I just spend my time on one time frame. I only need one time frame to complete all my analysis. Mm-hmm. But no, this is it. This is my whole chart. Looking at everything, you can see a couple of losses back there. But yeah, this is it. I just mark up the ranges and then look at where the trend changes and do my analysis based on that.
Okay, so you do your analysis on 15 minutes time frame and you execute on 15 as well?
Yeah, all 15. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And do you pay attention to, do you think that it's more important to have a higher risk to reward or a higher win rate?
I think like being around for a while has taught me that it's very hard to have a win rate, say over 50%. Mm-hmm. Like if your win rate is between 35 and 50, that's quite good. You need to target risk to reward. So I target, I guess, 4-1 on average. I don't always get there. Sometimes I've had 20-1 trades before, and I've had plenty of 2 and 3-1 trades before. Mm. But yeah, you should aim to have your average wins much bigger than your average losses.
Yeah.
And probably something else that I've learned over time is that like just because you say if you backtest and you've got a 40% strike rate or a 45% strike rate, you come to a live market, I guarantee that you won't trade at 45%. You'll trade at like 40%, 35%.
Yeah.
So you need enough fat in there in your returns to make that up. Mm. And probably like an additional step to that is that on your personal account, people talk about risking 1%, etc. But on prop firm accounts, you should risk much less than that. Like if you flip a coin, you got a 50% strike rate of a heads or tails. Look up, you do an online coin flip and you do 100 flips, you'll find that you do 5 and 10 wins or losses in a row all the time. And that's just at 50%. So if you're trading at like 45 or 40%, it's very, very likely that over a lot of trades, you will lose 5, 10, 15 trades in a row. And it's still well within your probability model.
Yeah. So now when we are at the losing streak, I would like to ask you how you're dealing with the losing streak.
Yeah. So losing streaks are just the thing that happens. Like I've probably taken 5,000 trades over my entire career. And there are times where I've lost 10 trades in a row, like numerous times. I've probably lost 20 trades in a row before. It is hard to deal with, but most traders, I'd say 90% of traders, they worry more about the charts than they do about their mind. And it's the more developed and more accomplished I've become as a trader, the more I've worked out that in the mind on the charts, like there are a million profitable strategies, but you'll find that all the very profitable traders have basically the same mindset. And that mindset is that like losses happen. And as long as the trades that I'm taking match the trades that I took in backtesting or match my plan, then there's nothing to worry about. It's when you've got your probability model, you lose 5 trades in a row, but then you add in 2 or 3 trades that aren't part of your trading plan or part of your probability model, and all of a sudden you lose in a row, and that feels bad.
Yeah.
And if you lose 5 or you lose 10 and they're perfect trades, you just go, oh well, these things happen. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's just part of the game.
Yeah, it's very much something that helped my psychology massively. Other than reading, I recommend everyone read a book called The Mental Game of Poker by Jared Tendler. It's about poker, but the same mindset applies to it.
Yeah.
It's just such a great book. and how he talks about improving. He talks about like the inchworm approach. So when you show up to trade, you back test and you're like, you're an A+ trader. Everything's going perfect. You know, you got your music going, you're in the zone, the kids aren't here, like everything's perfect. Then when you actually trade, you probably trade at like an A- when you're like having a good day. You know, you may be a little bit tired, that sort of thing. Then there are other days where you'll trade at like a C, and you trade at a C because you haven't had very much sleep. Maybe you've lost a few trades. Maybe you got slipped on a trade. These things happen. He talks about the inchworm approach, where people always focus on improving their best, but really what they should be trying to do is eliminating their worst as well.
Yeah.
So if you eliminate your worst, you move your bell curve further north.
Yeah.
So on your bad days, maybe you trade at like a C+ now, and on your good days, you're an A+. So even on your bad days, you're still not really that bad.
Yeah, I'm actually currently reading it.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've honestly read it like 5 times. It's so good.
I'm also reading it the second time, and all trading in the zone as well. I've read it 3 times.
Yeah, trading in the zone's so good. I just found I identified more with the mental game of poker.
I like both of them. They're really
good. And there was another book, like The Psychology of Winning. It's just this old book I picked up, and it was great as well. It just talks about like the mindset that winners have versus losers. Like they're just kind of, for lack of a better term, like they're built different. Their mind is just wired differently than other people's.
Yeah. So when we're into psychology, would you like to share with us how your psychology improved with time and what you did to improve your psychology?
Yeah, so it's definitely improved over time now, and I still work on it daily. I meditate once or twice a day at least. I make sure to continually revisit my books. I revisit my back testing every single day. So every single day I have a routine where I get up and like, you know, drink a bit of water, have a bit of breakfast and stuff, get the simple stuff out of the way. Then when it comes to the charts, like I get there, I read my rules. I look back over some past trades. So I just randomly, I've got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of back tested trades and live trades. So I just scroll back through them and just randomly pick a date. And I go, okay, I'm going to look at a month from here. And it might be like loss, win, loss, loss. And I'll go, okay, well, at the end of this 30-day period, which started the 10th of June, like a random date, I'm up 3%. But then I get in my head that like, I never know. It starts me in the position where I never know when the wins or losses will come.
Yeah.
And then, I continually revisit audio books. I must have read, I think I've read 40 or 60 books somewhere, maybe 50-ish books on Audible. I've got a huge shelf worth of books. Like just any little 1% extra I can get, I always strive to get that because I know how hard the markets are.
Yeah.
So, any little bit I can get, I always try and get it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely improved over time with the addition of things that I've added. Another big part of that is like genuinely knowing my stats. So I've talked to lots of traders and I say like, oh, what was your biggest losing streak? Like, oh, I don't know. Oh, what's your expectancy? Oh, I don't know. Like what's your average risk reward? I don't know. Like, are you serious or not? You should try and know all these things. You should know on average what you make per month. You should know on average how many down months in a year you might have.
Yeah.
Not to be militant, but data can't really lie. And if you look back on it, when you're feeling a bit down or things aren't looking so good, you look back in your data and you go, okay, well, this is well within what's expected to happen. And if it's outside, you definitely look back over it and say, what trades in here or what have I done differently than what's happened in the past?
Exactly. I totally agree. Many are just gambling without having any statistics and any plan. It's gambling. It's not trading.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
What did you struggle with the most during your trading journey? And how did you overcome those struggles?
A big thing I struggled with probably in the past was bad mentors. So I've learned a lot from mentors or advice from mentors. Like some of them, I guess, without saying like too much or anything, you just need to make sure you take everything with a grain of salt. Like the whole Forex world is very fake. Like I see so many people, like young traders are on Instagram and they see people like, I took a 1 to 200 trade. Like, no, you didn't. That didn't happen. Sorry. Or if you did, you're not trading an account at size because like I trade for a number of prop firms, not just yours. And I know that if I had a 1 pip stop and took a 200-to-1 trade, like you would be the top of every single leaderboard on every single trading prop firm in the world.
Yeah,
if you're risking 1%, even at 0.5%, 0.3%, like
yeah. I mean, everything that sounds too good to be true is too good to be true.
yeah. I want to let traders know, like if you're making say like 4 to 6% in a month or 4 to 6 hours in a month, like that's good returns.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about that.
Yeah.
You're making more than most traders make.
That's true. Do you have any targets per week or targets per month, or you're just adapting on the market conditions?
No, I just trade as the market allows me to. I don't really have any restrictions on myself, like other than I don't trade New York. I just hold through New York. I'll choke trades down or move them to break even if I'm going to bed, just because I don't want the mental stress of a poor night's sleep because I'm thinking about the trade. Yeah. I try to avoid trading around CPI now and rate news because they're moving the markets a lot. Yeah. And NFP I also don't trade so much around. Just like when I first started trading, like NFP would move 150, 250 pips, like instantly, nearly gap over everything. It's probably a habit from that. And the market's got a lot less volatile over time. And it's now like volatility's picked back up, I guess, post-COVID. Very volatile during COVID. And then I'd say on average, it's picked up from that time.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I started after COVID. And when I started backtesting before COVID, I was surprised from the difference in the pips that I was risking. And since then, I like shifted instead of focusing on pips, I was definitely just focusing on percentages.
Yeah.
The volatility is totally different before COVID and after COVID.
Yeah, like it was probably, I think in 2013, 2014, volatility was really high and then it kind of started to drop down to like COVID, went crazy in COVID and then has started to pick up again since then.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear someone who has 10 years of trading experience to tell us a little bit about the different market conditions, because I believe that many traders that are trading at the moment started after COVID, because it became like quite popular, everyone at home, and they were looking for ways to make money. So would you like to tell us a little bit about the different market conditions and how it impacted your performance and how did you adapt on it?
So yeah, definitely something I've learned over time is like you need to be continually, you've got like your plan or your rules, but then you need to be continually reviewing. So I do like an end of week review and then an end of month review and an end of quarter review. So to see what I've learned over that time, because the market stays the same, but it changes. The market now is not the same as it was last year and it wasn't the same as it was 2 years ago. Yeah. So you need to continually be adapting to those markets. Like right now, I say the same way I traded this exact way for at least the last year. But before that, I traded a version of something similar to this. And then before that, I traded this style of trading, but on the 1 hour. And then like it's just been a refinement over time because of the change in the market.
Yeah. So even your strategy kind of changed a little bit because of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it's the same how I trade. I know that the same principle applies across the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily. Yeah. Just because that's how the market moves. It's fractal in nature. But yeah, like how I've traded, I adapt to the markets as much as I can in the time. And I guess that's probably something that is hard to explain because it's an experience thing. Yeah. Like there are times that I can look at the market and because I intimately know the pairs that I trade, I can just look at it and say, this feels like it's going to go down or this feels like it's going to go up. And then I can work from there. I sometimes, like I can't really tell you why or why not things feel that way.
Yeah, you kind of like know the pairs like a partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And how did you choose the pairs that you trade? You said that one reason is because of Asia session, because those pairs are active more during Asia. And do you have any other reasons why you picked those two pairs?
Yeah. So Euro Japanese yen, when it moves, it really moves very far. It's a very volatile pair, and the spread on it's usually not too big. So you get like the big moves of, say, gold, but it's on a Forex pair. And I guess I've always just had an affinity with that pair. I just like how it moves. It's got predictable movement to me. And the other thing I like about it is that it can move in Asia on this. This is like a free tip to everyone that thinks that the Asian session is not that great. Pull up like a 4-hour chart or probably an hour chart and look at the biggest moves that happen over any year. And I guarantee that most of them will start in Asia. They'll just start at, say, 9 or 10 a.m. my time, and they will not stop until 4 a.m. my time, which is like the close of New York, or 4 or 5 a.m. And it's the same. It's the same across all pairs. The biggest moves, other than one-off candles where there's been a huge news release, but if there's something like macro or a theme driving, it'll just start at 9 a.m. my time when the Australian banks come on. Then it'll move a little bit more when Tokyo comes on. Then it'll keep going or stall a little bit, move again in London open, stall a bit, then move in New York. It'll just keep going all the way through the day.
And I forgot to ask you about partials. Do you take partials? And how
no partials. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe in partials.
Okay.
I think that I try and get my stops to break even, but for me, I've always felt like if you take a partial, you're you're doing yourself out of the maximum return of the trade. I also have a strategy where I shave risk off as well. Like I won't just have a full 1% open the whole time. I'll move the stop down so it gets reduced over time.
And what about when do you move the stop loss to break even? Do you have a rule about it, or it's?
I have rules, but it's also the feeling. So like if I enter a trade and then it just suddenly drops like 50 pips, I'll just move it to break even, because I know that when there's something large and volatile happening in the market, I would rather just be at break even. Don't let, trading's hard enough without taking unnecessary losses due to greed. And then I try and move my stop in line with how the market's moving. So breaks of the lows and highs, I'll trail the stop between there.
Yeah. What would you tell yourself if you were about to start now? With the experience you have now.
I would tell myself that it was much, much harder than I thought it was going to be. Like it's probably 10 times harder.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It's good to know that. And what kind of advices would you give to new traders that are just getting started?
Turn off Instagram. Probably look on YouTube, watch a bit of stuff, set yourself up and learn one pair intimately. I'd probably recommend like AU, EU, GU, EJ, UJ. Look for a liquid pair that moves in your time zone. So set yourself up with the best chance to pass. Like if you're taking trades at 2 a.m., I used to do it. It's impossible. It kills you. Like just don't do it. Set yourself up to trade pairs that move in your time zone and then go from there.
And do you have any last words that you would like to share?
I hope everyone can succeed trading and find what they can from the markets. And, it's really hard, but it is very rewarding. Just make sure you stick at it and work on your mindset. Like your mindset it's just too much more important than people give it credit for.
Yeah. I believe that many first think that it's about the strategy, about finding the Holy Grail strategy, but with time we realize that it's the mindset.
Yeah, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
You've got to win in your mind before you can win like on the field. Look at Michael Jordan or like Lionel Messi or all these guys like that. They're obviously super skilled, but like they know up here what's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being here, for sharing your experience with us. I believe that lots of the viewers are going to get many takeaways from this interview, including me. I hope to host you in the future and take a look at your journey and how everything is going to look like in the future.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Anna.
To all of you watching, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done that yet. As you can see, we can learn a lot from every single interview, so you don't want to miss it. Stay safe and good luck with your trading.